Okay, guys. So we're gonna go through just some of the more of these problems here to make sure that you're on the right track. Really, with having these three things, though, this is kind of a personal preference type of a thing for the most part. So I want to make sure you get really good and comfortable with at least one of them. But I want to make sure that you try all of them and that you become competent with all of them. So I'd like you to try at least one for every, like at least one of these should be done, one of these ways. Um, yeah. And then for your guys' homework, there's a few questions in the textbook. Um, 3 and 4 is what I want you to do. I have 5 on here. I'll change that on yours. But give five or harder questions. Give 5 a try if you're doing well with this. Um, yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's go through some of these. So what I would do personally on this one is I see that y is kind of already almost like I almost have like it's not like 2y or like anything in front of the y. I can quite easily rearrange this top one to be 5x, and I'm going to bring the y to the other side and the 10 to that side. So this would be 5x minus 10 is equal to y. So now I have an expression for y. I'm just going to plug that into that expression. So so what we can do now is rewrite this bottom one. Whoa, what was that? Rewrite this bottom one with this expression that I've just come up with here now. So we're going to write this out. Maybe we'll make it a different color. As x squared plus x minus 2. And now instead of a y, I have an expression for y. I'm going to put that in there instead. So that's going to be 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now we've just got x's, and we can just try to solve for x now. Well, what I'm going to do first, though, is expand this part because I had, this times this and this times this. So let's do that. So I'll have x squared plus x, and then now minus 10x, and then plus 20 is equal to 0. I've got some x squared terms and some x terms, so I'm probably going to have to factor this. So I think I just need to combine these two. So we're going to have x squared and then minus 9x plus 20 is equal to 0. We can factor this now. So this is going to be, so we'll put an x and an x, and then a 4 and a 5, and they would both be negative to multiply to this number and add to that number. So then our solutions here, there'd be two of them, would be x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 4. Now let's figure out what y is. We have an easy way to get there too, because right here we said y was equal to 5x minus 10. So y is going to be equal to 5. Let's put one of these in. Let's put 5 in. So 5 times 5 minus 10. So y is going to be equal to 25 minus 10. It's going to be equal to 15. So there's one answer there. Maybe I'll circle these two while we're at it. And then the second answer is going to be y is equal to 5 times the other one, 4, minus 10. So y is equal to 20 minus 10, so it's going to be 10. So now to verify, we can just put this into one of our equations, our x value and our y value. So let's maybe put that over here. And when x was 5, we used that to figure out that y was 15, right? So let's put those two into our equation up here. So that would be 5, and instead of an x, I'm going to put 5. So 5 times 5 minus, now instead of a y, I'm going to put the y value that we had, so 15. And this should equal 10. So 25 minus 15, yeah, that equals 10. So 10 is equal to 10, so that checks out. Also, just so you're clear, we could have actually put, so into the x values here too, we could have put that 5 into there, and we could have put that y into there, and you should get 0 out too. You can also verify with 4, so we could do that in the bottom one, I guess. So let's do that. So looking at this one now, we can say our x value, we're going to say is 4, because we'll check that one. So 4 squared plus 4 minus 2 times, now the y value for that one was 10, so 2 times 10 is equal to, it should be equal to 0. Let's see if it is. So 16 plus 4 is 20. Minus 20 is 0. So 0 is equal to 0. That also checked out. Okay, now looking at this one, this might be a good one to do an elimination method with. With elimination, the other thing I've seen students get kind of confused about here too is like how to like line it up when you do the elimination method. So the way I would line it up is you need to have your x squareds with your x squareds, x's with x's, y's with y's, 3's over 3's. I'll put a bigger one over top of the other one here. So let's go, that was weird. 2x squared plus 8x minus y plus 3 is equal to 0. And underneath, I'm going to put this one. So we'll put 4x minus y plus 3 is equal to 0. And with the elimination method, what we want to have happen is either we can eliminate, well, the x's, but that's going to be tough in this case because we have an x squared term, so it wouldn't even really work. But we could quite easily eliminate these y's. Right now it's not because we got negative y minus y, that'd be negative 2y. But all I need to do is multiply this entire bottom term by negative 1. So multiply, I guess, by negative 1 though. And what that would do, well, 0 multiplied by negative 1, still 0. But it would swap all of the signs in this part. So that would turn into, let's write the whole thing again. So that'd be 2x squared plus 8x minus y plus 3 is equal to 0. Now if I multiply this entire bottom thing by negative 1, you can just swap all your signs. So this would now be negative 4x. This would now be positive y. And this would be negative 3. And that would still be 0. The reason why we did that is because now we have positive and negative y. They cancel. They're gone. So now if we can just add those straight across on the bottom. We're going to have 2x squared plus 4x. And then these are gone as well. Positive 3 and negative 3. So now this is just equal to 0. Now, how would you figure out what the answer was there? Well, we can factor stuff out of this. So we can factor a 2 and an x out of this side. So we could say 2x, and then I'd be left with, after I factor it, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So what would this need to be equal to 0? And what would that need to be to make that equal to 0? Our two answers for x here are going to be 0 and negative 2. Okay, now to figure out what y was, we would probably want to rearrange this top equation here. So we'd say y is equal to 4x plus 3. I just moved y to the right side there by adding y to both sides. And now we go y is equal to, one of the solutions was 0. So we'd go 4 times 0 plus 3. So y is equal to 3 is one of my solutions. The other one is going to be y is equal to 4 times negative 2 plus 3. So y is equal to negative 8 plus 3. So y is equal to negative 5. Now you guys can go ahead and verify on your own. We can just say, okay, if 0 and 3 were my numbers I put in, can I put a 0 into there and a 3 into there to get out a 0? Yeah, you can. So you can kind of see that you can do that. Or you could try negative 2 and negative 5 as well to see if those work. Okay, so that was elimination method. And then let's do... This one would have been good for elimination because there's already a negative y and a positive y. But let's do comparison method just to kind of show you how you would do it. So I like comparison method too. I like comparison and substitution are my favorites. They're pretty much the same thing, really. I'll show you how they're the same thing because if you look at the top one here, if we rearrange this would be y is equal to x plus 1. The bottom one here, if you rearrange, would be y is equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 3. Okay, now comparison method it's really the same as elimination method because all I'm doing is taking this and I'm making it equal to this. But another way of saying that is I'm just going to replace, I'm going to substitute this in for y. So it's not really any different. It's just kind of like you set it up a little bit different before you put this in for y, but it's not really any different at all. So let's do that. So I'll just put that in place of there. So we're going to have x plus 1 is equal to this side now. So negative x squared plus 6x minus 3. So just make sure you kind of see what I did there, right? This just went in place of y because that's what y is equal to. They're equal to each other. So now we just need to solve. So looks like we need to get everything to the same side. I'm going to move everything to the left side because I don't like that negative out front of the x squared. I'd rather it be a positive. So let's just move everything to the left. Now that'll make that positive. So add x squared to this side. They cancel. So plus x squared. So I've got x squared plus x plus 1 is equal to 6x minus 3. Let's subtract 6x and add 3 at the same time. So plus 6x. Oh, no, minus 6x. Whoop. And add 3. So I end up with x squared. Now negative 5x and then positive 4 is equal to 0. Okay, we can factor this. An x and an x. Multiply to 4, add to negative 5. What about 4 and 1, and then both negative? So then we'd say x is equal to 1, and x is also equal to 4. Okay, now this is probably our easiest way to find y. We could use this one too if we wanted to, but that one's already kind of there and easy. So let's say y is equal to x plus 1. Well, y is equal to, looking at our first one here, that's a 1 plus 1. So y is equal to 2. Our second one, so using this, we're going to say y is equal to 4 plus 1. So y is equal to 5. And again, you can use your substitution method to verify. Not substitution method, sorry, I misspoke there. You just need to plug these numbers back into here to see if that actually works out. Plug in the 2 red numbers. Does it equal 0? Plug in the 2 blue numbers I have circled there. Does that equal 0? So just check to see if the left side of the equation is equal to the right side of the equation. All right. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do D and do E on your own. And then I'd like you to do questions 3 and 4 for homework as well. Okay, so that's going to be it for that video.